Hi dear students, welcome back. Last class we discussed about the introductory topic of sorting materials or separating materials into two different parts. So we reached up to the activity 1, isn't it? See, in the activity 1, that is, you have to collect many materials which are near to you, which is available in your home, and classify them as products that are made from each material. Some of them will be made from paper, some of them will be made from plastic, some of them will be made from cloth, some of them will be made from some other things, sometimes wood or metals, etc. So based on what are the materials that are used for making them, or the basic components that is used to make them, based on that we can classify them, isn't it? So here in the textbook you can see the table 4.2, some of the materials made up of wood. You can see here chair, table, or desk, bench, these are made from wood. Paper, notebooks, books that are made from paper. And here are the columns for you to complete. Leather, you have to write here the objects that are made from leather, plastics, cotton. Note here, we copy this into your notebook and write this. Okay, right. So based on the things that are made, what is the manufacturing material used to make this item? Based on that we can classify the objects. So how can we identify this? Is it made up of wood or is it made up of an iron? By touching, by seeing, isn't it? By appearance we can understand, is it made up of wood or is it made up of metal or something, isn't it? So appearance is the first point that we can classify the things into two. So by seeing, by appearing, how it appears in front of our eyes, by seeing we can classify them. Especially when a metal is cut, that is when iron, copper, silver, gold, these are metals. When this is cut into two parts, metals is not the metal that you found in the that rock pieces or stone pieces, that is not the metals I mean here. Here metals means iron, copper, gold, these are the metals. So when we cut these metals, we can see a shiny surface over there. When you newly cut an iron piece, what happens? We can see a shining there, isn't it? It appears shiny. What about non-metals? When I cut this chalk into two. It does not appear shiny. So from the appearance itself we can classify the metals. We can classify the materials, the substances. If there is a shiny appearance, it's a metal. It will be a copper, it will be a silver, it will be an iron, or like that. It will be something like that. If it does not shine, it is another substance which is not a metal. So we can classify the metals based on appearance as shiny and dull. Make a newly cut in the substance. If it appears shiny, it is classified into one set, and if it appears dull means no shininess is seen, as like in the case of a chalk. So there is no shininess seen here in the chalk. Therefore, it goes to the section dull. So we can classify the materials based on appearance. That is the first point of classifying materials. And why we have to classify these materials? See, in our home, we generally use this materials made up of metals, that is iron, steel, aluminium for cooking. Silver is not used for cooking. It's used as an ornament. Steel is used for cooking. What happens if we use a paper instead of this steel? We make a pan made up of paper and use that to cook the food. Can we use it? No, it's important. We have to use steel itself, otherwise it will burn. So some of the materials possess some properties. So we have to choose wisely which of the materials can be used to make products for specific uses. See, when we are storing water, we store in a tumbler. That tumbler might be made up of plastic or even mud also, no problem. Mud, pots also we can store water. What happens if we store water in a cloth? We take a cloth and store some water in it. What happens? It will leak, isn't it? If the water is stored in a cloth, we take a towel or something, a kerchief, handkerchief, and we fold it and do like this and pour some water to it. What happens? It will leak from here. So it cannot be used to store water. We have to use some plastic object or a metal object or a pot or something we have to use to store the water. So specific materials have specific properties, and based on these properties, to understand these properties, we have to classify the materials. So the first set of classification, as I told, is appearance. So how to understand it is shiny or dull? Make a newly cut in the object. If it appears shiny, it belongs to this category, shiny, and sometimes it will not be shiny, so it belongs to the category dull. So based on appearance, there is some materials that are shining and some materials that are dull. Normally, materials like iron, silver, gold, copper means silver. So these materials will shine and they are called metals. So we can tell metals will shine when we make a newly cut on them, and those which do not shine is generally non-metals. They are not metals. Chalk that do not shine, a wood piece, when we cut into two equal pieces also, it does not shine. So these are non-metals, and those they are shining are called metals. So that's all for today. Have a nice day.